Are you gonna apply for Junos?
Probably not, bro. I'm just switching. I'm switching gears. Like I'm just like working on music, but I'm more kind of just on the back end, working on sync licenses and licensing and stuff like that. So
Facts.
for me, it's kind of I'm just like chasing. I mean, it's different for everybody, right? It depends like where you are in your career, what you're really chasing, what you want out of it. So
Yeah.
I find like a lot of artists don't really know what they want, right? So, and it's like when you know what you want, you kind of can seek guidance from people like yourself or from me or somebody else, and then target those type of grants and
Yeah.
whatnot. So it's just like so that's really where I'm at. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, if the right situation comes around, like I always take meetings and stuff. So if the right situation comes around,
Yeah.
why wouldn't I take the money and take the situation? But at
Yeah.
this point in time in my life, I'm not really trying to drive around
Bro.
and gig and do all this stupid shit. Like, I mean, teach their own. To certain people, it might be, you know.
100%. Yo, I explained this. So when I say about applying for the Junos, you're right. I'm not applying for me. I'm producing this wicked female artist, Mandy.
Okay.
And so it's a good move for her to apply. So that's, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to apply, but I'm going to do an application for her.
Yeah.
And it's in Vancouver anyway, so she would be great. But what you said, bro, I keep trying to explain, and I was the worst at this in my 20s. You have to like think of it like a GPS. Set your end point first and then figure out the path. Where a
And
lot
then
of
work
us,
backwards.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think in my 20s, I was just driving and I didn't have anything set and it was a nightmare. So now,
But I
like,
mean,
I hear what you.
I think, like, look, man, you live and you learn, and that's like the whole point of your 20s. Is like take risks and kind of figure out where you do want to go. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of, I think, you know, if anybody's watching or if they watch this later, like my biggest advice would be is that like use your time to kind of figure out which direction you want to go in, and then from there it's like, you know, even with the open verses and stuff, is like once again it's like if you know where you're going, if you're doing open verses for fun, that's one thing, but it's just
Mhm.
like what's really the objective here, you know what I mean? So it's like I always have people hitting me up like, oh, let's do a track, let's do this, let's do that, but it's just like, okay, what's the objective here? What are we really trying to do? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
If you just want to create content, cool, let's create content, you know. But like other than that, yeah. Like I think, you know, like I just dropped a video today. I shot it last night. You know what I'm
Sick.
saying?
Oh,
I just dropped it today. Like I think I've kind of like not perfected, but I've kind of grown into my own in terms of I know how to crank out
yeah.
videos for
Yeah.
dope food, you know? So, but I just put stuff out for the sake of, I don't care about how many likes or how many things. I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it for visibility, but, and using that as a calling card. I use that as a calling card to get myself, you know, sync licenses or
Sick.
you know, non-exclusive deals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
So
that's kind of what.
the sync, so this project I'm working on right now is a sync project, but it's all lo-fi music, so there's no vocals.
Oh, that's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah, but that's what I was telling you when you hear. I'm like, oh, I want to get you on my next one. And when they sent the brief out, I was like, oh, I can't work with anyone on this. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Unless you want to like whisper some stuff.
Yeah, bro. It's like, and then to see, that's the thing, bro. It's like people don't realize how much sync pays.
Yeah,
Sync is stupid big, you know. If I could live a life of like, I don't care if nobody knows who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I could just live a life of just cool, let me just make my sync money, land a couple syncs a year.
yeah,
Like for me, it's like I don't know. I think you're doing music full time, right? Yeah. So it's like me. It's like no. Like I got my career. So it's like what I'll do is I'll do a couple good sync licenses, use that money to like go to Bali for a month,
yeah,
like travel to fucking Hawaii or some shit. Like for me, it's just like extra fun money, but
yeah.
it's good
That's
extra
amazing.
fun. Yeah.
Well, so the one thing I learned, so the reason I'm going in June is I'm going to a sync conference. But the one thing I learned from like one of the music libraries that I work with is that now, like especially this year, music supervisors, when they're booking tracks with vocals, they actually will go look up those artists now. They used to not even care. They would just be like, if the vocals are hot, they'll place it.
Right.
So that's why I started pushing harder on Instagram, because now when they look me up, I want them to see like, yeah, I'm actually an artist with a brand and a following. So
Yeah.
that's where I think like the open verses come in, because if that helps you build like your following.
I'm not really doing open verses. Like more, what I think makes sense, which is like more productive, is like just creating songs for your sync library
Yeah.
and then shooting videos to every song you just create. So sure, it's like I'm constantly creating. So last night, for example, I went recorded 2 songs, and anything I'm creating, I'm just adding onto my sync library because now I have the mentality of how to create songs for sync. You know what I mean? So,
Mm.
so I'll do that, and then while I'm there, if I do a little freestyle or if I'm just creating and I'm like, okay, cool, I got this. Let me shoot a 1 minute video to it. So anything I create for sync, I'm always just shooting videos
Hold,
for it.
wait. So the track you finished last night, you're submitting to your sync library, but you also posted that song on your Instagram as a video, and they're
Yeah, why not?
cool with that. They don't care.
What these aren't songs that like okay. So for example, the songs that I post on my Instagram, they're not songs that I have like any sync I've ever led. So let me make this like okay. Let me try to kind of articulate. When I get commissioned for syncs, I think you're getting commissioned as maybe like a producer. When I get commissioned as an artist, any sync I've gotten has been to sync a song I've previously had. They've seen it,
Oh,
or what I'll do is like I sign up with big libraries and I'll submit like a bunch of songs to
yeah.
them. I'll be like, these are my songs. If you want a non-exclusive sync on them, take them. But hey, they're already out in the universe. They're on Spotify. They're on thing. It's not an exclusive sync that I'm creating specifically for them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those are all
Yeah,
non-exclusive licenses.
non-exclusive licenses.
I've never done a non-exclusive deal. Yeah, all the tracks that I've submitted for sync,
Mhm.
you'll see them on my
Yeah,
stories sometimes, but
yeah.
they're not posted anywhere. Like I have, like I don't know if you know FaZe. He's another rapper from Vancouver. Like we did like 3 tracks,
Mhm.
and Aaron Ross is this guy from the Boom Booms. We did 2 songs. So I have all of these tracks totally finished that
Mhm.
I gave to my sync library because they're completely exclusive.
I don't know the way your sync deal works. Like if it works kind of like a publishing deal where they're like, you have to submit us X amount of songs and we're going to compensate you X amount, sure.
Mhm.
But other than that, like for me, just as an artist, like I don't produce or anything, right? So for me as an artist, it doesn't make any sense to give anybody
Yeah.
like an exclusivity deal. So it's just like these are good conversations too for anybody watching. Is like if you're a producer and you're creating music libraries for people, sure, that's one thing. Now you're getting my point of view, which is just a free agent artist
Mhm.
who's just rapping anything and everything. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, yo, I'm not gonna give this to you exclusively ever unless you buy it off me up front.
I can release them publicly,
Mhm.
but it's usually after at least 6 months that I've given it to them, that they've like shopped them and stuff,
Mhm.
and then we have that conversation because they might be like, no, it's pending a placement. Do not put it out until
Oh, okay, I've never even worked like that. Like I don't
yeah,
even like. I know think libraries maybe sometimes work like that, but like basically just being an artist, like I've never even worked like that. To me, like basically, me and Roach got burned pretty bad, like in a situation like that where the movie Biba Boys. You remember Biba Boys?
yeah,
So Biba Boys was actually so Deepa Mehta ended up doing Biba Boys, but before Deepa
yeah.
Mehta, do you know who the Vermanis are?
I don't.
Okay, the Vermanis are like this rich family from Toronto. They own so Drake's private jet
Okay,
called
yeah,
Aerojet.
yeah,
They they own an air cargo jet company. So that's actually their jet. It's a Punjabi guy. His name's AJ Vermani. So that's how kind of Manj and all these guys got into all these Bollywood movies and stuff like that. So because of that, we got linked up with. I got linked up with the Vermanis, and they came. They heard my bunch of my stuff, like the songs I had with Juggy D and all that kind of stuff. So they heard that stuff. They came and met with me, and they heard some of me and Roach's stuff, and they're like, "Bro, we're working on this movie loosely based on Bindi Johal's life." So I was like, "Okay, that's cool." So then what ends up happening is they commissioned 5 songs off of us for the movie. So
yeah.
me, Roach, and this producer that does a lot of Jesse Sidhu stuff in Toronto. His name's Palma Sarai. We created like 5 songs for the movie. Now, what ended up happening is while we're creating it, the movie actually got changed, changed titles. It was called Homeland before, and it was loosely based on Bindi Johal's life. It changed titles to Biba Boys. Deepa Mehta took it
Yeah.
over, and then the whole film changed direction. So then now me and Roach Killer are sitting on like 5 songs that we've held for like a year
Hmm.
that we could have put out. We had other people offering us deals for them, but we just didn't end up putting them out. So ever since then, like we just kind of learned in a way where we're like, we're not holding nothing for nobody. If you want us to hold it for you, pay us. Pay us a
Yeah.
holding fee,
So can you
right? So
put them out now?
Yeah, we did, but it
Oh,
didn't have the same. It didn't have like those songs that we worked on. It didn't have the same momentum. Like
yeah.
the song that they were interested in, for example, we were gonna put it out. I think the trailer had like X amount of so many thousands of views. There's a huge buzz on it, and then we pulled it off for them. And then
Oh,
Akshay Kumar was actually interested in the song too. He was going to use it for Akshay Kumar had a movie called Sing is King,
yeah.
and then the part two for it was called Sing is Bling, and then they wanted to use that as the title song for that movie as well. And then we held it off, and like idiots, we didn't charge a holding fee. So that's just kind of like, for me, I just kind of been burnt like that before. So now I'm just at the point where I'm not holding nothing unless you give me a holding fee. You know, like even actors in Hollywood, if like a lot of actors can't work on any other stuff while they're in negotiations with a certain show or whatnot, they get paid a holding fee.
Oh, that's I didn't know that.
Yeah. So like what I do now is like, okay, if the concept even comes up of you don't want me to release this to anyone, pay me a holding fee.
Oh, that's
Otherwise, I'm putting it.
so
Yeah.
interesting. So 6 months for me is not a big
Yeah.
deal. But yeah, I think if something was like, oh, we need this for another year, or then you'd be like, well, then I got yeah, that's interesting. I never even know. So all of your, I'm gonna go look up these two songs you did last night. So you're doing stuff always, and then you're once you have like maybe 5 songs or 4 songs that are similar, then you pitch that to a non-exclusive library.
Yeah. So I'm in touch with a bunch of sync agents,
Yeah,
and then I just kind of I feed them to them. So I just constantly just record. Like it's just a part of life. Like I'm always
yeah.
recording, right? Like every week I'll record at least 1 or 2 new songs just in my spare time, and then I just I kind of put them out. I send them to my guys, whatever I think is at the quality. Because obviously, like, bro, I'm not fucking Eminem. Not everything I record is like fucking like you know what I'm saying. Like that'd be very arrogant to even just think like anytime I spit on the mic is fucking golden, right? But yeah, what I do is like so. Let's just say out of every 10 songs, I really like 4 of them. And what I'll do is I'll take those 4 songs and then I'll send them to my sync guys. Like I get constant emails from my sync contacts who will be like, "Hey, we're looking for something that's like this type. This, do you have something that sounds like the Beastie Boys, like early '80s
Yeah,
hip
yeah.
hop or whatever?"
Briefs. They're sending you
Yeah,
briefs.
exactly. And so I'll be like, "Yeah, let me go through my stuff." So at that point, I'm not sitting around like, "Oh, let me scramble and try to make you something," because as you know, the sync turnaround is very quick.
Yeah, it's
The song,
insane.
yeah,
It's insane. People don't
it's crazy.
understand. It forced me to be such a better producer because I had to get so fast.
Yeah, but it also kind of trains your mind in terms of when you record the song, you have to have all the track outs. Like, okay, let me have the friggin' TV version. Let me have the acapella. Let me have the instrumental, right? And then on top of that, when you look at
And if you
those are your track. So you gotta have the track outs ready, and then not only having the track outs ready, you gotta be very careful with like who you work with, because it's like sometimes it's like if you're working with a lot of people, like so say for example, I work with a lot of people in the UK. So if I'm working with rappers or producers in the UK and I get a sync request and they're like, hey, they message me at like 9 in the morning saying we need it by like 3 p.m. But they want a one point, like they want a one place point of contact. You know what I mean? They're like, listen, we want to be able to come to you, Islam, and you got to be able to sign off on everything. We don't want to sit here and for you to try to get a hold of Blitzes who's in Toronto working his day job, and you're fucking trying to call him and be like, yo, I need you to sign off on this. So it's just like I'm very particular with any songs that I do submit for sync. It's very easy, clean process that like it's a one point contact with me. Like so, if you and me are like me and Roach are like brothers, so it's like never even a question. Like I don't even ask them if it's like a freaking link sync. I just go and do it, sign off for both of us, and then bring the money home to the team. But you got to be careful like that too, bro. Yeah, I mean, as you
yeah. Did you take like a sync course, or how did you get into sync? Because I took like a whole
So
like syncing like course
oh,
during COVID.
yeah, you probably like realistically, like in terms of like the actual like logistics of it, if you took a course for it, you probably know light years more than me. Like anything that's happened with me with music has been just people approaching me,
Amazing.
and any sync license, like so when Gully Boy happened, they contacted me
That
out of nowhere.
bro, your track on Gully Boy is a banger.
Thank you.
And like, oh my God, the Instagram people, like I saw it on someone else's page before I even knew it was your song. Cause like so many people were like doing,
Dances and shit. Yeah,
dances but it's
yeah,
so,
that's crazy.
who produced that one? Like who did the music
It
for that
was
one?
Partners in Rhyme. They're like producers from the UK. Bix, what up? Shout out to
Oh,
Bix.
they smashed it. Oh
That's
crap!
it.
Is Bix in LA?
Right now, I don't know. I think he might be in New York. He's either
Oh,
in
I'm gonna
DC or.
message him. Bix, I'm coming to LA in June. I'm gonna drop you a line in case you're gonna be in town. Yeah, he travels a lot.
Shout out to my homie Nancy. She actually lives in Vancouver too. Nancy's.
Nancy, I'm in Van. I don't know if is she an artist?
Nah, she's just a
Oh,
foodie. She knows all the dope spots to eat. So she's super cool, man.
oh, Tap House. I get a tab when I DJ at Tap House. So if you're a friend of Blitz, come and you can have so too. Coquitlam and Surrey.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so you do the Coquitlam one?
No, Surrey. And Satish, when Satish came, I just threw him up.
The guys.
Satish did half the night. He killed it, bro.
Oh my God.
He killed it. Yeah.
Oh,
It's when and Serato stems had just come out, so he did like a whole set using Serato stems. It was sick.
he's actually
Yeah.
getting really good, man. He's getting good now.
Yeah, I've never seen him do a club, and it wasn't a brown set, right? It was like an English
Yeah.
hip hop club night, and he killed it. No, but that's dope. So you don't submit directly to a sync library. You have a sync agent. They're giving you briefs, and then they're putting those stuff into non-exclusive sync libraries,
So
basically.
yeah, so three ways actually. So number one, I'm connected with a bunch of sync agents, free agency sync agents that work like on behalf of whoever, like labels or whatnot, and they'll reach out to me if they know something kind of fits my sound or whatever. Like for example, like I'm just using like this didn't come up, but like a perfect example is Late Bloomer, right? Like Just Rain's TV show. Just Rain just got like a TV series on Crave.
Yeah,
But if let's just say if Just Rain's TV show is looking for Punjabi hip hop for a certain scene,
they would hit you up. Yeah,
then my sync agents are gonna hit me up and say, "Hey, man, this is happening," or what's that fucking fuck? I don't know. I know Superwoman was working on a show or a movie a couple months ago. So anytime like anything comes up, there's a couple sync agents that'll just kind of always straight
I mean,
holler at me. Then also the second option, what I'll do is I'm kind of hooked up with non-exclusive sync libraries.
yeah,
So what I'll do is they kind of have portals. I forgot what the portal's called. They all use the same portal, man. Fuck, I forgot what it's called. But like you kind of go in there and it's almost like a just like a back end software, and you kind of upload all your stuff and your lyrics.
yeah.
You create folders in it for them, and they pitch those. And then the third is because I just grew up with like a couple guys that I don't know how, knock on wood, like they all work in Hollywood now, and they all got like decent jobs, like here and there. Like some are actors, some are behind the scenes. So if anything ever comes up that they think suits me, they'll always just kind of put me in
That's
touch with
amazing.
somebody directly.
The non-exclusive portal thing for producers, I just found out like very recently, a lot of producers online that are posting like 1 minute beat videos.
Yeah.
It's because all of those beats are actually licensable from like, and there's one really good one in the UK, but I know there's some producers that they love it, and so then whenever like a YouTuber or even a TV show or someone is just looking for background instrumentals, they can go on, and they usually know them from Instagram.
Yeah.
Because the clips are all on Instagram. So when you did your like 1 minute video last night, okay, so you're rapping, that's a track you put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Is that song getting uploaded to Spotify, or is that song on hold in case something comes up? Like, what's the process after you're done this song?
So this one is just like an anomaly where it's Timbaland was doing like some beat competition, and he kind of just put it up. So I was already going to the studio to work on just stuff for my personal sync library, and then I got the Timbaland instrumental. I just went to the studio, wrote to it, and just recorded it. And then I've gotten really good at like I said, just sourcing like video directors or editors, and I can do it myself as well. So I just took my camera with me because I already knew in the back of my head I'm gonna kill both these tracks. So that's literally what I did. I went to the studio from 7 till 10 yesterday, knocked out both the songs, came home. I shot the video in that time, came home at 10, edited it. I was done editing by 11. I threw it up at 10:30 this morning on Instagram. But that is just a freestyle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm doing just for the consistency, right? But
Amazing.
a different type of track, like that second track I did yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm going to South America in like 2 weeks. So I already know in the back of my head I'm going to take my camera with me. I'm going to shoot it there, and I'll just probably release it next month. So but I'll just always just put this stuff out. I've never had
When you say release it, what is that? Is that just Instagram and YouTube? Is that Spotify?
everywhere. everywhere. I take it straight to
Like,
yeah, I take it
so
straight
you
to DSP.
is that do you do like CD baby?
It depends on the track. Like I find CD Baby actually works the best for me. I've seen the best results.
Mhm.
Anytime I'm a placement or anything, it's always when I'm using. I don't know. Maybe it's just my, I don't know. Like, I don't know what you call it. Like, um, maybe it's just kind of like I just find the CD Baby works.
Yeah.
It could all just be in my head, but
No,
like
I like
different.
their platform. I think they have the best. They've been around like the longest too.
Yeah.
This is dope. I didn't know. Yeah, I guess this is a different world. Like I said, this sync is such a big world. I'm always learning about it. So
Yeah.
I didn't know that you could pitch songs. Anyway, like I said, I haven't hit the 6 month deadline. I've never had an issue releasing something after 6 months. So, and usually I need that much time because I'm working on grants. I can't really finish a song and get it up. Like this song, you finished, you're gonna shoot it. So between when you finish it and when you release it on Spotify, it's probably gonna be about 2 months anyway.
So I've always had this like theory that there's no point, I don't know, trying to use urban slang. Like if you're gonna start shooting, make sure your clip is full, right? So
Yeah,
it's like
true.
what so basically my thing is like before I even start releasing music, you can best believe by the time I drop one video, I have 20 sitting on my hard drive. So I already have like sure I shot a video last night, but realistically, if I was to be honest with you, I have 30 sitting on my phone now. So and
Wow.
that's the other thing too, is like that's the other thing. I have no shortage of content or what I want to drop. So when am I gonna drop it? I don't know. Like if I was like short on content, yeah, I would upload it on the back end of the DSP and release it in 4 or 5 weeks. But because I'm not in a hurry, I'll release something in 4 or 5 weeks. I just don't know which one yet. You know.
That's it.
So
That is unreal. And because I just did this with another artist, so I did a song with my mom, and I left the verse open. She sang this killer verse. I got booked for a music festival, and I was like, "Why don't you come do it with me?" It was like 400 or 500 people,
oh
and she was free. Like I didn't want to take away from a booking or something paid. She was free that night anyway, so she
yeah,
came for like 10 minutes, did like this huge ass show from an open verse, got great content, and then she bounced because she's also a gigging musician.
sick.
So then she went to her gig.
Yeah,
But it was so cool to go from like her little, her bedroom open
yeah.
verse to like it was North Van Music Festival, and then we used that open verse to promote her coming to the show just for the one song.
I find that what's worked for me, bro, is like, I guess because I've been doing it for so long. Like this year, I've been doing it for 24 years, and I've always worked at this pace. I have a very extensive back catalog. So because I have a back catalog, I kind of just find that opportunities. I kind of planted the seeds 20 years ago, right? So it's just like, um, I kind of find that opportunities are always just finding me from everything that I released like a long time ago.
Yeah,
So, and then in the meantime, I'll just always create newer content. So for me, it's like if anybody's gonna work, anybody I respect like yourself and stuff, I like rather than doing an open verse, I'm more just like, okay, yo, let's sit down, let's come up with a concept like, oh, okay, we're gonna make 3 songs like over, I don't know, I'm just making stuff up, like over like, Afro-Cuban
yeah,
inspired beats. I don't know. I'm just making
something
shit
that
up.
has one
Yeah, yeah,
one
right.
string.
Synchronicity through it. I'll create those 3, 4 songs with you, and then we would use those 3, 4 songs to pitch for sync or for do something with.
Yeah,
Just like to do something just for the sake of like getting notoriety. Like I don't think you and me need to do anything to gain.
fair.
Not saying that we're big. We don't need any notoriety. We have enough back catalog.
You have. I do not have the
You've been
back
doing it
catalog that you have.
a long time,
Yeah,
bro.
but
Like I mean,
I've been doing remix when I started. Like all my first 5 years of catalog is all remixes. So
right.
that you can't sync pitch, you can't do anything with any of that.
Well, it's
So
just like funny you said that, right? Because it's like the same thing happened to us in the sense where a lot of me and Roach's back catalog we don't own
yeah,
because back in those days in the UK, the labels like Movie Box and all those type of stuff they were doing buyout deals.
yeah.
So any of the big Kushti, whatever, bro. What up? What up? Shout out to Kushti from the UK.
Oh no.
But I find in the UK, so what happened was Movie Box and all these labels, they bought our catalogs off us. So a lot of the big old school hits, like the stuff with Juggy D, the stuff with Tiger Style, whatever, we don't
Oh,
own it. So we
oh no way.
we can't license that stuff. But it's a great business card for us.
Yeah.
So now that I have that, that's kind of why I'm almost like in like my second childhood in the sense where That's why I'm working so hard now, constantly just recording, constantly stacking up my catalog again, because I have to create a whole catalog that I own now.
So the best place for me and you to overlap is if I get like a brief that I think you'd be dope for. Because most briefs you have to submit 3 to 4 songs. They unless the timeline is tight, then they just want the one.
Yeah.
But the one that I did with me and FaZe, we did 2 songs. We had a month. So I think if I get a brief like that, then and then again, like those songs you just I know you have to give it to them. And again, I can always talk to you about it, but it's
Yeah.
usually like you can't put them out.
Yeah.
But at least I know where you're at now, like where your kind of your focus
Yeah,
is.
it's good to just talk to different people and see like, okay, what are you doing? Like everyone's attacking the game in such a different way. So I mean, it's pretty crazy, dude. Like bro, I've been getting actually paid like I've been getting paid consistently to consult large corporate brands like on the whole South Asian culture now,
Wow.
which I find like very, very interesting, bro. Is like we've reached the point in Canada where the South Asian community is becoming so large and the purchasing power is becoming large
Mm-hmm.
to the point where all these corporations want a piece,
Yeah.
right? But they don't know anything about it, so they need people like us to consult them on it. But so I kind of find it very interesting in terms of there is a lot of opportunities opening up, but I also find it like it's a dangerous time right now because at the end of the day, when you walk into these corporate boardrooms, like not in a bad way, but they're all gore, right? They're all white people, right? And all they're seeing is the number of the purchasing power.
Yeah.
But what they don't realize is they don't realize like to them brown is just brown.
Yeah.
They're like, well, everyone listens to Sid the Moosewala, everyone listens to Karan Aujla. I'm like, no, like India and Pakistan have the most amount of diversity when it comes to culture, religion, language, food, music, style. We're all different people, right? And they don't get it. I'm like, yo, listen, if you hire, if you hire, if you hire somebody who's not Punjab, like if you look at two brown guys, you might look at me and Islam and think we're the exact same guy, but we're not.
Totally different.
They're like two different cultures, two different religions, everything, and but they don't get it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm like nervous about where the scene's going because I kind of feel like so right now we're at this point where South Asians are starting to get a lot of good looks. A lot of labels like Warner signed A.R. Paisley, they signed Icky, they signed Karan Aujla, they signed Janita Gandhi. They're doing a lot of stuff. Universal wants to sign people. Sony wants to sign people. All this stuff is happening, but the problem is, bro, is like if the labels f- up and they don't get it right, we're not going to get any more opportunities later on down the line. We have to consult them and make sure they do it right
Yeah.
so that doors continue to be open. Sync license opportunities keep coming up, and like all this kind of stuff keeps coming up for us, right?
That's
But
cool that people are reaching out to you so they're seeing that because Satish was doing that. That's part of why he got into Desi Fest because he was like, they're gonna pay attention. It might not be now, which when was Desi Fest like 10 or 15 years ago.
15,
But he's like at some point they're gonna pay attention. And now it's starting to happen. But what's cool is that they're reaching out to someone like you, they've done at least a little bit of research to find you.
well, yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? So it's either through recommendations or whatnot. First of all, I just want to say shout out to Paul, my brother Paul. He's in Vancouver too. Do you know Paul?
Paul is
Yeah,
dope.
Paul.
I didn't even see him. I didn't see him join here. I'll
Yeah,
hit him in the
Paul, man, my
yeah,
guy, Paul.
Paul's vibes.
I actually was
Oh,
in Hawaii. Me and Paul
Shine.
were supposed not Shine,
No,
Paul.
but I don't know. But Shine said, have to see the root of hip hop? Oh, you have to. He's just making a comment. Yeah, I see Paul there too.
Yeah, yeah, fucking
Whoa,
love Paul, man.
Paul, I am DJing the Bruhala Festival main stage. I will get you guys tickets. DM me next month. You and Nisha got to come down for sure. Oh, Nisha works for the Junos too.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I see her there. She's on the
yeah,
board.
I guess I should mention this too. So how the industry is changing because I'm trying to perform more and be an artist more. I just started to ask the promoters that were booking me for DJing. I was like, hey, is it cool if I close out my DJ set as a performer?
Right,
If you say no, no, it's not a deal breaker for me, but are you down?
right.
And some people would be like, no, you're getting, but luckily a lot of the guys here and girls, like there's a lot of women that run these festivals too.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, if you want to do one song at the end, go for it. And then one song turned into two songs,
Sick.
and then and so I DJ for about like 45 minutes, and
Yeah.
then I jump out, and depending on if it's the right fit for the crowd, I'll do like one or two songs original and close out the set as an artist.
Oh, oh, that's sick. Yeah,
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 and I think I just wish I would have thought of that before. I always thought they were separate, but I think in the music industry, people don't want to see you fail. Like they want to support you anyway. That's what I feel anyway. Like people that have been in it for a long time, that have been grinding like you've been grinding.
yeah.
So yeah, so they're like, and if it fits, obviously if I suck, they're gonna be like, don't do that again. But it builds so much energy when you come out and close it because it feels like a close. Like I'm not behind the booth. I'm standing up front. I have a singer with me, or like like the whole show changes in the last
Yeah.
10 minutes, and then it feels like an end.
So you're curating a show, right? You're taking them on a journey, like it's an
Yeah.
actual project set. So it's like, yeah, yeah, exactly. So you're telling a story, right, through your performance. So that's what's up, man. But so I think we're at an exciting time, bro. It's like fucking even at the Junos this year, Garn Aguilar's performing.
Oh,
That's huge.
oh, is he this year? Where is it this year?
I think it's in like Halifax or something
Okay,
like
I gotta
that.
look it up. Yeah, I didn't apply this year because we weren't ready. So that's dope. Because who did it last year that was South Asian?
AP Dillon.
Yeah, AP Dillon from Victoria or from like we said Punjab, but then
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So AP Dillon did it last year. I think it was in Calgary or Edmonton or something like that, right? And then this year, I think it's happening in Halifax. Paul said. So yeah,
so
and I think Shub is the, but he's
dope.
from Toronto. But he got him and Garnagela got nominated for like the TikTok People's Choice Award
Oh,
or
that's
whatever.
dope.
Yeah. So
Is
that's pretty.
AP from
Yeah,
Toronto?
hey, he's from Toronto.
Man, again, as a producer, when I listen to his music, like with my headphones on, man, I want to sit with that guy. It's like I cannot, I don't know, I can't even like, I just think he's taking production to like another level. Like it is, his music is unreal.
Unreal. Like I think I was never like not in a hating way, but like Garn Angela's music was just never for me. I was never really into it. But yo, this latest album, I would say is
Yeah,
probably one of my. It's
yeah, it's unreal.
it's flawless. You can listen to the
Cut,
whole album,
top
top
to
to bottom.
bottom, yeah.
Yeah.
Cuttin, I don't know if you know Cuttin. He plays drums a lot when
Yeah.
artists come here. So he played with.
Yeah.
Say what did you say?
You know I know him. Remember we were at he played drums for me and Sanju at
Oh
remember when you came to Mo's
yes, yeah.
yeah,
Oh my God, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so the album comes out, and me and so Cuttin also I taught Cuttin how to DJ
oh sick. Okay, yeah.
because I knew I was gonna start performing more and being an artist and being more in sync. I was like Cuttin, if you come roll with me, I will
Yeah.
build you a DJ career that will take you 10 years in 2 years.
Sick.
And that's what I did. And in
Yeah.
this year he's doing all of my bookings at art festivals.
Oh, that's
So he's loving it. So this album comes out. I think and then we had a gig. He looks at me. He's like, "Bro, listen." And he was so excited about it. And I listened, and that's the impact I think that album's having like on the South Asian scene. It sounds like a Michael Jackson record, and it's a Punjabi record. Like
it's crazy, bro. I
so,
think
I gotta.
it's going to be hard for anybody to top that album. I think it's going to be very hard for anyone to top
Yeah,
Garn's album.
yeah. Oh, Paul knows. Paul's like, yo, the Junos are in Halifax. Paul, you should just be in.
Paul should just be a fucking manager, bro.
Paul's gonna be an A&R rep in 10 years. He's just gonna be signed.
100%. 10 years, more like 10
10
days,
days.
bro. He's gonna be like our A&R rep, bro.
That's
I was actually supposed to spend New Year's with Paul and Nisha in Hawaii. Ended up going to Hawaii for New Year's,
dope.
and but yeah, me and Paul, we travel a lot together. So me, Paul, and Nisha, we always we'll go to like Arizona, Hawaii. Where else did we go, Paul? I'm fucking forgetting, man. We've been so many places together.
Oh,
We
dude.
try to do like one year.
I have a really good friend producer in the States, and he was like, "Bro, you gotta take the train." So this time when I go to LA, I'm taking the train to LA.
Oh, there's a train.
There's a train from Vancouver to LA.
Have you ever driven,
No, I haven't.
bro?
It's probably gorgeous, huh? Same
Oregon,
idea as the train. It's probably gorgeous.
bro. Oregon is so dope, man.
Yeah,
It's
I've
unreal.
heard. Did you
Oregon.
stop? Like, did you drive, stop, drive?
Yeah, like I went to so the Goonies was filmed in Oregon. Their beaches are nuts, bro. Their beaches are nuts. Like, so, you know me, like I have half my family. My mom's from Vancouver, from Port Coquitlam, so I'm always out there. So I'll always just jump in the car and I'll go to different driving destinations. I'll go down to Seattle. I'll go down to like Oregon or whatnot. It's crazy, man. There's a huge, just relating it back to music. There's a huge sync licensing community in Oregon, man. Oregon and Seattle.
Oh,
There's a
crazy.
lot. There's a lot of agents and companies based out.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. So it's pretty nuts. Like, so it's something to look forward to, man. Like, look into that. That's what this is one of the things that really hit home with a lot of the companies I sit with. I'm like, okay, you guys are interested in, like, let's just say, let's use Desi hip hop for an example. It's so diverse. You would think Punjabi hip hop is like a narrow stream, but it's not. Because if you think about it, there's three spectrums, I find, three major spectrums. You have the Bohemia and Sultan, the guys who rap solely in Urdu, Hindi, Punjabi. And then you have, I think, me, Roach, Fateh kind of fall in like the middle, like where we'll, in the same rap, we'll go back and forth from Punjabi to English where it's weaving in and out of it. And then you have guys like A.R. Paisley and Nav who solely only rap in English. And there might be small crossovers, but not really. So if you guys are looking to book someone, sign anyone, sync license any music, you have to be very mindful of that. Somebody who listens to Bohemia does not listen to A.R. Paisley necessarily. You know what I mean? So you can't just come, you can't be a fan of Sultan and Bohemia and then come to freaking A-Slam and be like, yo, why weren't you able to produce this song? Like, what do you mean, bro? I can't, I can't, I can't spit you a freaking 3/16 like Bohemia completely in Urdu or Hindi. Like, I can't, it's,
I think honestly, I think she's gonna get nominated. Like, there's not a lot of like women rappers that are killing it, and like we had such a big release last year,
who you
so we're
thinking?
gonna do one more release. So I think I'm gonna have another Juno nomination next year
Oh, you,
after the producer. That'll be two. Now I just gotta win. Hopefully, I win one. This is what's really cool, and actually, Kyle Kraft, who was the manager of Swollen Members,
yeah.
he pushed hard for this rap single category, which just started, I think, the year before. It never existed before. He was like, there's so many artists that don't release albums that are new. There was basically you had like new artists and then you had Juno artists. And you had no one, you had nothing. The Junos didn't have anything in the middle.
Right.
So he wanted to create this single category for like, so new artists could still apply for the Junos before they have a full album and all of this stuff. So we're gonna apply for single of the year.
The thing is, so I think that's kind of something that they take into factor probably is like, okay, you released a single, that's fine. How many streams did you get? Like, if you've only gone like 10,000 streams, then every single person would apply for it.
Yeah, no, every year you'll see like every year when you read through the Juno, it's kind of like a grant. Every year they learn something and they change, they kind of touch it up. So they did it. It's that single category is brand new. I think we have her last song did really, really well. So
good.
Yeah, again, I would go in as a producer. Like I would be the producer for her as an artist.
Yeah. Okay, that's good, man.
So I sneak in.
You sneak in on the backside, right?
Yeah, I'm like Paul. I'm behind the scenes like Paul sometimes. So, but I would say, bro, I will put one more thing into the grant thing before I help out. I think for, you're dropping all your like music videos. Yeah. I think like you should still apply for Factor and do like one big budget video a year. Like, because they'll give you the money for it.
I've gotten them, so.
Oh, yeah, okay, Joe.
So I've gotten them. So it's like, yeah, you know what, bro? I think the days of the music video and the need for a high budget music video is so not needed anymore.
Yeah, it's so small.
So small, right? Like, I'll tell you, like, so when we hang up, right? Like, go to my page, watch the video I just posted. The last two videos I posted, I shot one in Hawaii when I was there, and I shot one last night. I shot both of them on iPhone 15 Pro Max in cinematic mode, and I bought a $180 gimbal. Mind you, I know what I'm doing because I've shot so many videos before, so I know how to go into there and kind of fuck with the settings. I know how to operate a gimbal or a Steadicam and stuff like that. But bro, and then if you know how to like edit and go in and chop them up accordingly, bro, the exact same job.
Yeah, that's true.
So I guess like I guess the reason why I'm kind of just playing devil's advocate is not the fact that I don't agree with you. The reason why I'm playing devil's advocate is anybody who may watch this is I know sometimes the idea of applying for a grant or how do I apply or whatnot. I mean, that's why resources like you are here, but it can seem overwhelming and daunting. But we live in an era right now where you have no excuses. Go get yourself a $180 gimbal. Okay, shoot content. If the content is good, content is king. If the
Yeah.
content is good, the song is good. You don't need a $30,000 video.
Because especially for demo grants, some of the grants are very easy to apply for. I'm like, if you don't get the grant and you were
Yeah,
going to shoot a $2,000 video, for example,
yeah,
do it anyway for $200. Like
exactly.
smaller scale, maybe one location. The grant is just a way sometimes for you to get out a vision for the video,
Yeah,
like get the song done, make sure it's mastered. It lets people like me in the industry know who you are. Like
yeah,
part of applying for grants is like the grant judges find out who you are, the grant coaches find out who you are. But and this is what the factor guys, those guys at Factor say the same thing. Like you got to do it anyway. It's not I'm only going to do it if I get the grant. I'm just applying for the grant because the deadline happened to fall in my release plan anyway.
yeah.
But if you don't get it, so I agree with you 100%. Like every time I put out a video, you won't know unless you wait till the end if it was grant funded or not. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna get done anyway.
I think it's just like so. Shine Clips actually just said, "Yo, shout out to freaking Skelly, my brother K Perez out there." Yo, I want to give K Perez a just about growth. We used to call him Skelly because he used to rap with me and Roach,
Oh, cool.
travel to the UK and whatnot. Me and him got our marketing degrees from the same university, Ryerson.
Sick.
He just became a fucking professor, bro,
What?
of digital.
That's
So it's just like when you see your team winning like that, bro, a
insane.
bro that I rapped with is a fucking professor. That's amazing. But just going back to what we are saying about just getting it done, bro. Like, interesting fact, like it just kind of triggered what Shine Clips was saying is, bro, 90% of my songs, I don't master them. I don't master music unless it's just like if I'm working on a project with a label or something. Like when I did the song for obviously Gully Boy, for example, bro, I did the song. At that point, I deliver my vocals. They go and they mix and
Yeah,
master it. But all the shit I put out that's playlisted on freaking huge Spotify playlist, that's playing on radio stations, that's getting me booked, getting me more sync licenses. Songs that I have synced in TV shows are not mastered.
crazy.
I don't even do it.
But
I
no,
mean,
but you obviously you make sure it
I
sounds good to
yeah,
you, which
obviously,
is
yeah.
mastering.
Like, yeah,
That's
it's
what mastering is. Like that. I remember when I took that sync course. Basically, what he would say like every episode, almost like every like video in the class,
yeah,
he'd be like, it doesn't matter what the plugin is. He's like, I've mixed and mastered songs with 2 plugins. If it needs a lot of plugins, maybe because it was recorded, then it. But
yeah.
he's like, once it sounds good in your ears, it's
It's
mixed. Once it sounds good in your speakers, it's mastered.
right,
So
right, right, right.
you say you're not mastering it, but you've been in music for so long, it's mastered.
I mean,
Like
to a certain degree, yeah, to a certain degree.
it's
But like,
blitz mastered.
but yeah. But you'd be able to tell, like, yeah, there's certain tracks like I'd be able to tell, like, if you played them in a club next to like a Jay-Z song, you'd be able to tell the difference, right? Like something like Guru fucking mixed and mastered
Yeah,
compared to like me and Roach at home studio, you're gonna be able to tell the difference. But for the most part, for what you're trying to accomplish and what you're trying to do, where you're trying to get, all these things are just like they can fall by the wayside, man. Like, just get. I think at the end of the day, just get it done.
yeah.
Just
90% of music is being listened through the cell phone speaker or
yeah,
little ear pods or AirPods. No one can tell the difference song to song. So I'm with
yeah,
you.
yeah, 100%, bro. But yeah, man. So, long story short, I mean, yeah, let's definitely do something, man. Like,
Well,
if you see something on the radar, yo, man, like, cause you live in BC. If you see something through Creative Arts BC or whatever, see something on this side, apply for it, man. Let's do something small. Maybe just create like a whole like sync project or something.
yeah, I think that's the best. Now that like I'm so glad we talked because I didn't know where you were at musically. But yeah, most of this thing I think there'll be a brief now. I'll keep an eye out, and then I think that'd be the best way for us to connect over a brief.
Yeah. And And sometimes
So
it's just easy to be ready, create the music, and then wait for the brief. You know
also
what I mean?
true, yeah. If I get it down, yeah, definitely. If I have a slump right now, I'm going brief to brief. I
Yeah,
haven't had a month off,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but if I get, that's what they want me to come to LA because like I've never met any of them.
Right.
So I've been working with. I actually have a couple songs with a library in New York, but a lot of songs with this library in LA. Actually, two libraries in LA,
Okay.
and they're all gonna be at the Sync conference. So I'm gonna go meet everyone in one shot. All the
And they're all like instrumentals, basically, for the most part.
Yeah, everything except like I did two songs with FaZe and I did two songs with Aaron. So
But you're in a totally different.
that's why I'm so glad we talked because yeah, it's totally different. There's
Yeah.
so many ways to attack it, like you said.
Like, yeah, there's a lot of like, I come across a lot of producers that solely make, like, let's just say if it's a hip hop producer, they solely will make albums specifically for sync, like video game sync. They'll do a 6, 7 track album and they'll post it like new album out, whatever, but they don't give a fuck if anybody streams it or not. They're
Nope.
like, yeah. So that's just kind of, yeah, that's smart, bro. We should get into that though. That's the best way. Well, good times, man. Good catching up with you. Shout out to Paul. He's still watching. Love you, brother.
Yeah.
And we'll touch base soon,
Dope,
man.
bro. All
Take
right,
care,
man.
man.
Peace.
Peace, bro.